Hello YouTube, this is Chance Paladin here, and just got the Twitter update from Harebrained Scheme saying that Shadowrun Returns Part 3, the Hong Kong campaign, is coming out on Kickstarter January 13th. And like I've been saying in my Shadowrun videos, I'm gonna be covering the whole Kickstarter like crazy, doing tons and tons more Shadowrun stuff. Lots of player run or player created campaigns, and might even play through Dragonfall again. I don't know, but the next month or so, I assume they're going to run a 30-day campaign. I'm going to be doing lots and lots and lots and lots of Shadowrun stuff, really trying to promote the heck out of it, because I want this to be the most successful Shadowrun campaign. This will only be the second one because they didn't do one for Dragonfall. So, but I want this campaign to blow their initial one out of the water. I want to show them how much we appreciate, how much the community appreciates Shadowrun, and how there's still a market out there for it, which I know there is. I mean, I see people talking about Shadowrun still all over the internet, even in non-Shadowrun stuff, it comes up all the time. The Sega and Super Nintendo games still come up all the time. It's just awesome. So, the fan support for this game has never given up, and I've never given up. And so I'm just gonna be covering it like crazy, and I hope everybody else does too, because they haven't told us what's going to be in it yet. I mean, I've been reading the forum, and there's a lot of different speculations, including the astral stuff for like shamans, mages, for example. A lot of different cyber deck UI stuff. Maybe some increased map making stuff. So we've got a lot of different ideas of what it could be. We're sure it's not just going to be another campaign like, oh, you give them, a couple $100,000 and they just make another campaign. No, because they wouldn't do that. That's not what they did with Dragonfall. And we make our own campaigns all the time. They wouldn't do that. They make updates to the engine. They make updates to the math algorithms. They're always they've continued supporting the back end engine of this game all along. It's been about the campaign, but it's been about the engine too. The engine's just as important. So I'm sure a big chunk of the Kickstarter campaign is going to be engine updates. Maybe like easier importing of your characters. Things like that. Hopefully easier map transitions. New artwork. They're always adding tons of artwork into the game. So it's not just a campaign. I don't want anyone to think that. I would hope nobody would ever think that, because Dragonfall wasn't like a stock edited. I'm not even sure if you could have made Dragonfall with the DMS, the engine that was out during DMS, and there's been so many defect fixes and engine updates and supporting the engine, and then giving us a really good campaign to show us how it can be done, and the amazing story writing that they have. So another one that I've been really hopeful for is hoping that they make an easier way for us to make our own weapons. And then another one I was hoping for is an easy way to have hireable, keepable Shadowrunners without having to do a bunch of workarounds. And the awesome thing about these guys, Hairbrain, is that they actually listen. That's one of my huge key deals. And not only do they listen, but they understand like the core principles, the core values of what we want when we ask for something. And even if they can't always provide on it, they will legitimately try as much as they're available to. But when it comes time for a major iteration, they not only meet expectations, but they exceed them. And a key portion of that was the save functionality. I mean, the save functionality was driving everybody crazy, and they said they couldn't do it, it can't be done. Somebody started working on it and actually was able to come up with this funny little workaround thing on the player ran side, to where you could like fake the game into thinking you were transitioning to a new area or something like that. And then before you knew it, Hairbrained had patched in a save system, not to the new client, or the updated client, I should say, not to Dragonfall, but they actually patched it in to Deadman Switch. And then, I mean, that was amazing. So I went back and played Deadman Switch, and there was a lot of other defect fixes. I mean, so the save thing was a major one that they did. I'm trying to think, there was a couple of huge ones. The enemy NPCs taking cover, that was a huge update that they did. The Dragonfall Director's Cut, which I still haven't played through, was a big update that they did. And that's all stuff that nobody paid for. We didn't have to, buy a freaking BS patch for any of that crap. We were, loyal customers. We got that stuff. And, not to mention, I mean, yes, there's not, if I had to make one request, it's been the same request from the beginning, which is more Mapmaker support. There's not a lot of Mapmaker support. But for the core engine, the core game, the core functionality, making sure that the campaign that they make runs well, and make sure that the engine works, and works well, and that you have a good experience playing the game. Even with them releasing other games, it never felt abandoned. Sometimes the map making portion did, but that's just, even Blizzard had that problem. There's just never a budget for supporting Mapmaker stuff, and so everybody kind of has to take a little bit of their own time to do that. They tried, they always tried, and I would say the Shadowrun community has the best community there is, and they've always tried to help each other. And so really all we can ask for is that when this new campaign comes out, that they work it into the budget, and we'll see on the Kickstarter in a couple days. And we can ask during the Kickstarter, say, hey, could you please work it in the budget to fix some of these map issues? because the community makes amazing campaigns. I mean, I love my campaign. I couldn't finish it because of some map making issues, but I made a lot of it. I made a lot of content, a lot of really cool maps. So you can do anything with it if you know how, and that's where the problem is. So, but the game itself, the core content, the core campaigns, and then the player created campaigns, which there are a lot of, and they all work to their own varying degrees of simplicity and complexity. But like, my campaign's not very complex, but you can run around in it and fart around, and you can talk to NPCs and stuff. It's more meant to be kind of an open world with questing whenever you feel like it, and going onto the net and stuff. But there's other peoples that are super complex. Some of them are just overworld. Some of them are lots of buildings and going into buildings and stuff, and it's just really cool. Everybody's idea of Shadowrun is pretty much the same, but how they execute their stories is different. And then when HBS does theirs, they show everybody what it could be, and it's like an inspiration. So you're kind of buying their campaign that they make, but what you're really doing is you're supporting their inspiration and their vision, trusting them to inspire us to make better Shadowrun games as soon as we're done playing theirs, so we can share Shadowrun with each other. Because Shadowrun's always been about the community. They make the game, they make the engine, and we play it, and then we make our own. That's kind of the heart of Shadowrun. So, and I hope to anybody new coming into Shadowrun for the first time, I hope they understand that Shadowrun's meant to be enjoyed by everybody. If you like fantasy, if you like computers, if you like guns, if you like swords, if you like making maps, or if you like playing maps, each one of those is very well represented. Maybe you like to control drones. Maybe you like to control spirits. You can play the game however you want, and it has all the dialogue options to boot. And then when you're done, if you're like, well, that was fun, but I bet I could do one where it's just nothing but running around as a shaman. You can do that. You can make your whole game where you're nothing but running around as a shaman doing whatever shaman stuff you want. You could make a game with nothing about guns, a game with nothing but swords, a game with nothing but girls, nothing but guys, nothing but orcs. I mean, you can do anything. And that's the beauty of Shadowrun. And so that's why I support them, because they're doing something that is not very popular to do, which is to let people make their own content. Companies want to be able to control the content, and Hairbrain even though it's not perfectly set up, you can have your own campaign going very, very quick if you want. So, and you can jump right into their campaigns. And I mean, it's not just like some little. Their campaigns, Dead Man's Switch and Dragonfall, are amazing. My jaw, even after multiple playthroughs, my jaw still drops at how good their writing is, how emotional the characters are, how you're freaking completely blindsided by awesomeness. And then the player run stories are great too. It's just whatever time you put into this and whatever money you put into this, it'll give you back in enjoyment and just feeling great about being a part of something great, doing something great. Because Shadowrun's always been the one thing in my life that I've been able to completely identify with. And that's because it's got the computer stuff. It's got the dystopian future feel to it. And fighting bugs and bad guys and best friends. It's always about best friends and people getting together and not trusting dragons, which is very important. I don't know, I can't say enough good things about it. Ever since I was a kid, I never doubted for a second that Shadowrun wasn't going to be with me my whole entire life. And there's a lot of other people that apparently felt the same way, and now we get a chance to show it again. Just, I don't know. Just really passionate about it. And I think it's something that is approachable no matter what kind of other fantasy you're already into. It doesn't crap all over any other fantasy. It's a humongous world where everything is happening at the same time. It's like a real functioning world. I don't know. So that's why I continue to support it, and I'm going to continue supporting it and giving my feedback as soon as the Kickstarter comes out. And I'm sure they're not going to forget about the Mapmakers, and I think the Kickstarter's going to be huge. I'm sure it's going to be huge with tons of insane updates. Otherwise, why would they wouldn't ask for more money, because I think the game's been selling pretty good. So I think the only way they'd ask for more money is because they want to do some. It's time to seriously ramp it up. And I know that they would need money to do that, because their budget started to run out last time, and then they've been floating on sales for the last year and a half, maybe. Then they did Golem Arcana. I don't know how that went, but I'm just really excited. And when Shadowrun hit Kickstarter the first time, I wasn't in a good spot, but I'm a lot more aware now, and now the industry's in a bad spot. So again, but I guess I want to just close with the fact that we can't let Shadowrun get bit by the bug that's been happening with Kickstarter lately, where good games aren't getting funded because people are getting so disenfranchised. If you're worried about Kickstarter, you got to do what is it Brian from Double Bear said a while back. He said you have to don't look at Kickstarter's failures, look at Kickstarter's successes. And Dead State, I mean, there's haters for everything. Dead State was a great game. It is a great game. I'm playing the heck out of it right now, and I'm going to be playing the heck out of it for a long time in between Shadowrun. I wanted to get some Dead State out of the way. Some more Dead State before Shadowrun, so I'm probably going to be playing Dead State quite a bit this weekend. Just so I don't... Not that I'd get burnt out on Shadowrun, but I'm going to play some Dragonfall, and I'm going to get some custom maps ready. I think I've got like 20 on deck right now, 20 custom Shadowrun campaigns on deck to play. And, but yeah, he said focus on Kickstarter's successes, not its failures. There's been some, fatigue in the market with people not wanting to support video games. Not so much because the market's crapped out, but I think the media, at least the video game media, has been jumping all over the failures because it, I don't know, gets some more hits or something. But Kickstarter, even though the successes haven't been gigantic, like in the past with Shantae and Mighty Hero Number 9 and all that, they haven't been those humongous ones like they were last year at this time. This has definitely been a slower year. It's by no means a failure. It's by no means a failure. And that's what you got to pay attention to. So what we can do is we can make this Shadowrun campaign that comes out in a few days more successful. A lot more successful. Show everybody that A, Kickstarter's not dead, and that B, Shadowrun fans are going to support their franchise, and that we want Shadowrun to keep going, and that we want new art assets, and we want new code, and we want map making updates, and that we trust them to do that so we can keep our game going, and they can keep their end going, and we keep our end going, and we keep Shadowrun going so our kids can enjoy it and their kids. Because a lot of pen and paper RPGs don't make it. A lot of card games don't make it. A lot of, I don't know, just a lot of games that deserve to make it don't. But we can keep Shadowrun going, and in about 3 days we'll get our chance to do it. So I'm going to be promoting the hell out of it. And I need everybody's help. And Hairbrain needs everybody's help, because they haven't said what kind of promotional budget they have, but it's probably nothing, because they need to use the money elsewhere if they have money for promotions and marketing. I mean, a lot of companies just gave up on it. They do all the right stuff and end up with nothing to show for it, and so they just decide to put their money elsewhere and trust us. So let's do it. On, is it Tuesday? The 13th? Let's freaking kick that campaign's ass on day one. Drop some serious freaking money on it. Doesn't matter if you're not going to get paid yet, because it's probably going to be at least a 30-day. And then save up your money and increase it even if you can. And let's freaking show them that we're still out there. So I know there's a lot of other people doing the same thing, but don't let other parts of your life, I mean, unless it's super important family stuff or work stuff or whatever, but find some time to freaking support Shadowrun, because we don't get these chances very often. And I effed up. I missed my last chance. Thankfully, a lot of other people stepped up. But let's kick that Kickstarter's ass this time. If you know anybody that likes Shadowrun or likes cyberpunk or dystopian stuff, or orcs, elves, magic, swords, guns, or making their own maps, frickin' tell everybody about it. Everybody. And I guess that's it. I'm gonna shut this one off, otherwise I'll be rambling about Shadowrun all day, which is what I do anyway, to myself in my head. And gonna play some Dead State this weekend, and then look forward to Shadowrun basically for the next 30 days. Alright? You guys take care, and thanks for watching. And get out there and support Shadowrun in 3 days on Kickstarter. Hong Kong. Get to go to Hong Kong. Went to Seattle, went to Berlin. Now we're going to Hong Kong to kick some ass. So, talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.